This is gravity of attraction. And this one isn't about attraction. It's about the moment you finally realize something you've been trying not to admit. You already know you need to leave. Not recently, not suddenly. You've known for a while now, maybe months, maybe longer. You've had that conversation with yourself in the shower, on the drive home at 2 a.m., when everything goes quiet and the truth gets loud. You've named it inconsistent, emotionally unavailable, convenient. You've watched the videos, read the books, sent the long messages to your most honest friend, and she told you exactly what you already knew. And yet, you're still there, still checking your phone, still making space for him in a life he has never fully chosen, still loving someone who keeps showing you, quietly, consistently, that he cannot meet you where you are. And listen carefully. You are not weak for this. You are not stupid. You are not broken. You are experiencing one of the most powerful forces the human brain is capable of producing, and nobody, not your therapist, not your best friend, not even the most logical version of yourself, can talk you out of a chemical bond with logic alone. So today, we're not going to tell you to just leave. We're going to show you what's actually happening inside your brain and give you the only framework that works when love and self-respect are pulling in opposite directions. Leaving isn't a decision. It's a process. Here's the first truth. Leaving someone you love is not a single moment. It's a process. And the reason it feels impossible? It's not emotional weakness. It's neuroscience. When you bond deeply with someone, your brain forms what's called a pair bond, a neural pathway that links this person to safety, comfort, familiarity. Hormones like oxytocin literally rewire your brain so his presence feels like home. That's why you can list every reason to leave and still reach for your phone, because your rational mind knows the truth. But your emotional brain, it only knows this person equals safety, and losing safety feels like danger. Why it feels like withdrawal? There's research that shows something powerful. Romantic rejection activates the same brain regions as drug withdrawal, not metaphorically, biologically. So, understand this clearly. You're not just leaving a person. You're withdrawing from a dependency your brain has built. And like any withdrawal, it hurts before it heals. Why just leave advice doesn't work. You've heard it before. Block him. Choose yourself. Just walk away. That advice isn't wrong. It's incomplete because it tells you what to do without addressing what your brain is doing. You're trying to override a neurological attachment with willpower. And willpower is weakest when you're in emotional pain. That's why you block him on Monday, unblock him by Thursday, not because you're weak, because you're human, the real framework for detachment. This isn't about forcing yourself, it's about retraining your nervous system. Phase 1, name the bond, not the person. Stop telling yourself, I love him. Start telling yourself the truth. You are attached to a feeling he gave you. Safety, being chosen, emotional warmth. The dopamine of his attention. Those feelings are real, but here's the key. He is not the only source of them. Your brain just mapped them onto him. Phase 2, interrupt the loop that replay in your head, the memories, the conversations, the what-ifs. That's called rumination. Your brain is trying to complete an unfinished emotional loop. You don't stop it with willpower. You interrupt it physically. The moment it starts, stand up, move your body, change your environment. Call someone you, don't fight the thought. You break the pattern. Phase 3, reduce input completely every time you check his Instagram, reread messages, ask about him. You restart the attachment. You reset the pain. Distance is not punishment. Distance is medicine. And it only works if it's consistent. Mute, archive, step back. Not forever. Just long enough for your brain to stop reaching for him automatically. Phase 4, rebuild yourself from the inside. This is the hardest part and the most important. Somewhere along the way, his attention became your proof. Proof you were desirable, proof you were chosen, proof you were enough. Now you have to rebuild that without him, not with words, with action. Show up for yourself. Do what you've been postponing. Build your own life again. You become the source of your own validation. And slowly, you stop needing his. The moment he comes back, because he will almost always, and it won't be casual. It'll be thoughtful, familiar, almost like the version of him you fell for. This is what psychology calls an extinction burst. When access disappears, the behavior intensifies before it fades. He's not reaching out because he changed. He's reaching out because your absence disrupted his comfort. And here's the truth. You're allowed to feel the pull. You're allowed to miss him. You're allowed to want to respond. But feeling is not failing. What you do after the feeling is what defines everything. Final truth. Walking away from someone you love is not the end of love. It's love finally turned inward. You're not closing a door. You're refusing to live in a hallway. The grief is real. Let it be. The love was real. Let it have been. And then, slowly, you become the version of yourself who trusts her instincts, holds her standards, never shrinks to fit someone else's limitations. That woman, she isn't waiting on the other side of him. She's already here. She always has been. She just needs you to stop waiting for his permission to become her. If this spoke to you, hold on to this. You're not leaving because you stopped loving him. You're leaving because you started loving yourself.